the second hour of tonight's Snarl season premiere. And coming up, not one, not two, but 3 title matches, and an amazing bonus Ladies Champions duel exclusive you'll only see here on Snarl.
Before we get going, we'd like to thank our co-sponsors here in the UK, London Television, and Chadwick and Sons Marketing for helping us bring our WL to merry old England, and their co-sponsor, Gormley Foods, who made those charming commercials with Sir Reggie Smythe, beef tallow crisps. Huh?
If you like the taste of cold beef fat in your mouth, I guess it works. Alright, well, we're starting off the second hour with Scott Dawson of the Revival looking for some payback for his partner Dash Wilder against BQ Stewart of the MJ Ferrantino group.
So, what do we do with all these boxes of beef tallow crisps they've given us? I'm not eating that stuff, and I know for a fact Reggie Smythe wouldn't even eat one on camera.
We'll take them back to the States with us and give them out for Halloween.
Welcome back, everyone. Our next match is set for 1 fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, accompanied by Ronda Rousey, representing Bell Unlimited, from Asheville, North Carolina, weighing 233 pounds. Here's Scott Dawson.
Doesn't matter whether you know him as Scott Dawson or Dax Harwood or whatever DBA he happens to be using right now. Scott Dawson is a very salty man. His partner Dash Wilder, laid out by the combined efforts of the Texas Hangman and the Vandal brothers on the orders of MJ Ferrantino, as you see him there in the ring, watching Dash Wilder be taken away. So, Scott Dawson going stag tonight with Ronda Rousey at ringside instead of Too Short. What the hell is going on with the Bell Unlimited organization, huh?
His opponent, accompanied to the ring by Sister Golden Hair, from Northridge, California, weighing 276 pounds, Brinton, Quinn Stewart.
Real Dirt says Bell and his organization are on life support, much like the current Democratic Party. All he has left is the Revival, Xbox 6 O'Clock, Ronda, and Sherry Martel. The loss of Randy Savage has left a hole in Bell Unlimited that goes all the way to China. Word is, Too Short's taken his last bag of singles and is shopping around for economy talent. So it looks like we can expect some more unfamiliar foreigners coming out of Bell Unlimited, if he has any good luck at all.
Him and good luck, they ain't never gotten along.
On the other side of the argument, we've got BQ Stewart, who we haven't seen in 3 months, since his last match with Jason Karloff of the Sectarians. Seems Ferrantino's had him training very intensely since then. MJ Ferrantino says he knows there's a monster in BQ Stewart, and he's trying to find it. Well, it's been 3 months, and Stewart dropped that match to Jason Karloff. So let's see if Ferrantino's strategy is even gonna work.
And will Sister Golden Hair cut much figure as Stewart's valet? Guess we'll find out right now.
Well, if Ferrantino's bringing in BQ Stewart, the battle has intensified once more. Let's see how he does. Willie Johnson sounds the bell, and here we go. They move in. Brinton, Quinn Stewart, with an immediate snapmare going for a cover right away. I don't believe this man's crazy. Oh, man. Scott Dawson nails BQ Stewart with a backbreaker. Swings and misses with the kick. Stewart turns him around, whips him hard to the corner. He rebounds out. Stewart's got him up. Sidewalk slam. Said, how'd you like that one? BQ Stewart rounds up. Scott Dawson has him up. Oh, man. Right across the shoulder of BQ Stewart. Stewart's got him up for the bear hug, but Scott Dawson counters with an eye gouge and a kick. Stewart quickly back up on his feet, has him up again. Delivers that same gut buster with the shoulder. There's a kick from Scott Dawson. Dawson rounds up BQ Stewart. Stewart counters with a hard shot to the midsection. Charges. Luthez Press, a series of mounted punches for Scott Dawson. BQ Stewart. Ronda Rousey getting involved. You know he's already winning if Ronda Rousey got involved. There's a full Nelson suplex from Scott Dawson. Dawson rounds up Stewart. A clothesline takes the big man down. BQ Stewart Looking like he's in trouble. Oh, look at this. Scott Dawson yelling at Ronda Rousey. Wonder what the hell that's about. Fall-away slam from BQ Stewart. Sister Golden Hair applauds her approval. Whoa! Pitch Scott Dawson halfway across town by his head. Sister Golden Hair trying to put the grab on Scott Dawson. I guess she is interested in helping him out. Dawson catches a fireman's carry from Stewart. BQ Stewart misses with the boot. Scott Dawson nails him with a right to the back. Has him up. Oh, man. What a slam. Scott Dawson with a knee to the face of Brenton Quinn Stewart. Stewart rounded up again. Scott Dawson with a power bomb over the shoulder. Rounds up BQ Stewart again. Has him up over the shoulders in the fireman's carry. And, nice driver from Scott Dawson. Doing a little bit of showing off for the fans. Not that he's going to get a whole lot of support or anything. Okay, here we go. Up, all the way up into a vertical suplex from the outside apron from Scott Dawson. BQ Stewart catches a Luthez press, a series of shots to the head. Now Scott Dawson trying to regain control of things. BQ Stewart said, no you don't. There's a clothesline from BQ Stewart. Scott Dawson whips him to the far right corner. Stewart counters quickly and, a shoulder took Scott Dawson down hard. Dawson gets a hold, but Stewart slaps his hand away, gets him up in a bear hug. And he is squeezing for all he's worth. Referee Willie Johnson watching things careful. Dawson finally trying to battle his way out here. Succeeds in doing so. Scott Dawson with a snapmare and a kick to the back to Brenton Quinn Stewart. Brenton Quinn Stewart sets up the pump handle. Oh, man. Nasty slam from BQ Stewart. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. A near fall. Scott Dawson sits up and he don't look happy. Dawson moves in on Stewart. Sleeper hold. This could be a problem right here. BQ Stewart flailing. But, jawjacker backs off Scott Dawson. Stewart back up on his feet. Gets a hold of him, has him up. Oh, man. Choke spine buster. Here's another cover. 1, 2, 3, and that one did in. Scott Dawson, BQ Stewart picks up the win by pinfall.
Here's the time. 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Brenton Quinn Stewart.
Well, after 3 months of training, Brenton Quinn Stewart is definitely jacked. He showed that this evening against Scott Dawson, who he just absolutely destroyed, much to the delight of his new valet, Sister Golden Hair, and I think they're going to make an interesting pair. Big-time win for BQ Stewart, and a much-needed one. And, man, Scott Dawson took quite a bit of a beating here. And, man, the reason behind the win for BQ Stewart, just look at the replay, pin after pin after pin, he just never gives up. All right, folks, we still got a whole lot more action coming, including those 3 title matches we promised you, and a special ladies champion versus champion duel, all when we come back right after this.
All right, people, up next, that special ladies championship duel we talked about between Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm. But since this isn't an RWL match, we're turning this one over to our British broadcast colleagues, Sir Reggie Smythe, light heavyweight champion, and his broadcast partner, Frankie Sir Francis Drake, former British national champion, as they guide you through the match. Take it away, Reggie and Frank.
Thank you very kindly, Wally. Yes, I am here with Frankie Sir Francis Drake, former British national champion, and we are going to guide you through this next ladies champion duel match with Mercedes 9 Belts Moné, the current TBS women's champion, facing the current AEW women's champion, Toni Storm. And that should certainly be a good match, shouldn't it, Frank? Oh, yeah, I guess. Well, Toni Storm's the only real wrestler here. Mercedes Moné's a joke and everyone knows it. Frank, to be fair, she's got 9 belts. And she bought 7 of a mail order. God, don't be stupid.
This next ladies champions duel is set for 1 fall, with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Boston, Massachusetts, she is the TBS Women's World Champion, Mercedes Moné.
Loved by some, tolerated by others, and seen as cringe by most, Mercedes Moné, formerly Sasha Banks, with her 9 championship belts, including the Japan 5-Star Women's Championship, which she took from Manami Toyota over the summer. And that's why I shouldn't give these birds creative control, Reg. They walk all over you, like Tony Khan. Well, all that notwithstanding, Mercedes Moné still has 9 championship belts. 7 of them she bought mail order, I told ya. Well, these two had an epic match over the summer for the AEW Women's Championship. Let's see how it fares this evening. Well, at least we get to see Toni Storm. Best lady wrestler in the business these days, if you ask me.
From the Gold Coast of Australia, she is the AEW Women's Champion, Toni Storm.
Well, it has been argued that Toni Storm does have the best female wrestler gimmick in the industry today. Yeah, well, you've got to do something these days to get yourself noticed, haven't you? And Toni Storm certainly done that. Otherwise, you're a nobody like Mercedes Moné, uncharismatic and all. Well, Frankie, it certainly seems to me that you're one of those who hold Mercedes Moné in a great deal of disdain. Hey, well, at least I'm not alone, Reg. I know there's a lot of people don't think Mercedes Moné is very much of anything. Well, as Toni Storm won their previous outing, I'm leaning towards Toni Storm winning this one as well. And well, you should. Mercedes Moné's a joke. Well, if indeed she is a story with a humorous ending, we're about to find it out, Frankie. Both ladies ready to go. Referee Willie Johnson rings the bell. The ladies lock up collar and elbow. Toni Storm opens with a clothesline and an immediate pin. But no, not even a 1. Mercedes Moné being gator rolled by Toni Storm. That's how you do it. I mean, look at her. Mercedes Moné can't even defend herself, can she? Weaker than bad coffee. Mercedes Moné, wound up by Toni Storm, counters with a forearm. Gets a hold of Storm, whips her to the corner. Mercedes Moné off the top rope with a nice arm drag. Fails to connect with the stomp. Taken down by Toni Storm, who misses with the kick. Mercedes Moné connects with a knee. Gathers up Toni Storm. Toni counters with a fireman's carry. Rounds up Moné again. Moné counters. Gets a hold of Toni Storm by the hair. Snapmare. Misses with the driving knee. Toni Storm connects with another clothesline, taking Moné down to the canvas. Moné, not so great is she now? Toni Storm going for another cover. What? Not even a 1 again. Mercedes Moné absolutely refusing to give up the ship. Toni Storm misses with the driving knee. Mercedes Moné with a double meteora, both knees to the chest of Toni Storm, followed up with a kick to the back. Moné counters again. An arm drag from Toni Storm. A kick to the midsection from Moné, and a standing drop kick that takes Toni Storm down to the mat again. Alright, so maybe she's getting a little bit warmed up. Big deal. Toni Storm spins her around with a hard right, goes behind, belly to back suplex. Moné rounded up again, up over the shoulders of Toni Storm, and a beautiful Death Valley driver. And Toni Storm looking absolutely roused. She ought to be beating the crap out of Mercedes Moné, which ain't hard to do. Toni Storm, with Moné against the ropes, pitches her to the outside between the ropes, and here she comes, rebounds off the rope. Oh, beautiful baseball slide, taking Moné down to the outside as the referee initiates the count. Moné with a quick kick to Toni Storm, gathers Storm up again, winds up the arm and a Russian leg sweep. That's the only way she could win, fighting on the outside. Dirty cheater. Mercedes Moné, presently in control of Toni Storm, driven into the barricades. A spinning neckbreaker from Moné. And the crowd here in Liverpool certainly not appreciating her antics. Nor should they. She's a jerk. Freaking swamp. Moné counters with a series of shots to the midsection. Toni Storm counters with a kick. Rounds up Moné. Moné quickly counters, shoves her away. Misses with the drop kick. Toni Storm connects with a right. Slammed headfirst to the steel on the outside by Mercedes Moné. Moné rounds up Toni Storm. Almost gets her into the ring, but not quite. Mercedes rounds up Toni Storm to a standing position. Takes herself back into the ring. Toni Storm pursues her. Hard whip to the ropes for Moné. And a nice Hurricane Runner from Toni Storm. Toni Storm rounds up Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné counters with a kick. And a clothesline. Followed up with a second. And a beautiful drop kick from Mercedes Moné. Nothing beautiful about Mercedes Moné. It's ugly. Very, very ugly. Mercedes Moné on the outside. Gathered up by Toni Storm as the referee starts the count again. Moné counters with a right. Toni Storm sidesteps her. Catches a kick to the midsection. Sidesteps her again. And, oh wow, look at this. There it is. Nice series of butt bumps to the face from Mercedes Moné. Might improve her looks. Oh, Frank, honestly. Mercedes Moné back on her feet. Toni Storm backs into the ring, followed by Moné. Has her up over the shoulders in the fireman's carry position. Another Death Valley driver. As Toni Storm covers 1, 2, no. Again, another near fall. As Mercedes Moné gets herself back to a standing position. Toni Storm, whip to the ropes. And a slam from Mercedes Moné. Moné rounds her up. Toni Storm counters with a kick. And winds up on the outside as Moné sidesteps her. Lousy jerk. I can't stand Mercedes Moné. She's annoying. Proper annoying. Toni Storm rolls back inside the ring by Moné. Mercedes Moné catches an arm drag from Toni Storm. Responds with a fireman's carry. Gathers Toni Storm back to a standing position, but Toni Storm counters with a quick forearm. Moné counters with a kick, taking Toni Storm down to the canvas again. An arm drag and a drop toe hold from Toni Storm. Mercedes Moné goes behind. Hard whip to the ropes. Misses with the knee. Mercedes Moné counters with a shot. Nice suplex. And it appears Toni Storm is starting to wear out a little bit. Up over the shoulders goes Mercedes Moné. Oh, crashing neckbreaker. Here's a cover from Toni Storm. 1, 2. And again, Mercedes Moné finding her way out of danger. Storm misses with a stomp. Connects with a right. They lock up. They tussle. Moné shoves her back. Toni Storm drives a knee into the chest of Mercedes Moné, and she is definitely roused. Moné on the outside again. Toni Storm going out right after her. The referee starts the count. A slap to the face. Moné counters. A drop kick takes Toni Storm to the floor. Can't imagine why she thinks she's getting any fan support. Got no idea. She's an idiot. Besides everything else. Toni Storm counters Moné. They lock up. They tussle again. Moné shoves her back again. Toni Storm counters with a forearm and a clothesline. Followed up with a series of stomps to the face. Toni Storm, perhaps sensing the end might be near here. A kick to the midsection. Sets up the underhook. Nice powerbomb. Sit out powerbomb. 1, 2. And again, another near fall as Monet finds her way out of trouble once again. Monet counters with a shot. And another that spins Toni Storm around, drives both knees into the back, and here it is, the bank statement. Toni Storm in the center of the ring with no place to go. The referee check. She is tapping out. That is it. Mercedes Moné has won this match. You know, I didn't even pay 10p to be here, and I want my money back.
The time was 8 minutes and 43 seconds, and your winner by submission, Mercedes Moné.
What a bunch of bull, Reg. I say that match was rigged. Well, Frank, you can say it, but it doesn't necessarily make it so. But in the end, despite a very solid effort from Toni Storm, Mercedes Moné pulling out an upset win here in this ladies' championship duel.
Yeah, well, if it was my patch, I'd call for an investigation. I say that match was rigged.
Frank, you are a pleasure to work with. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this ladies' championship duel match. We're turning it back over to the original crew from Snarl right after this. Alright, well, that last match was new and different. Big thanks to Sir Reggie Smythe and Frankie Drake for calling the match. Up next, the Mid-South Championship on the line as Billy White Moon defends the title against the United Kingdom's Ballarat Jack Jones.
This next match, set for one fall with a 15-minute time, is for the WL Mid-South Championship.
Tell you what, White Moon's faced some pretty tough customers before, but Ballarat Jack is a different strike.
We haven't seen a whole lot of the UK's in tag team action, which surprises me, since I thought, being known here as former Great Britain Championship wrestling stars, they would have appeared more, or at least together. But those are Myron Schimmelman's problems. But just the same, the angry Aussie looking down the barrel of a huge opportunity to snatch up the Mid-South belt for himself. No doubt, with a little assist from Miss Jessica Goldman, who's doing anything she can to stay in Jack's good graces. He still hasn't forgiven Jessica for losing a tag match a few months ago. So she's practically groveling at the guy's boots lately.
You know, Johnny, sometimes time does drag, but it was actually only a few weeks ago, and I called that match. The UK ladies dropped it to Las Reinas when Jessica Goldman took a pinfall. And yes, sir, Ballarat Jack, he was mad as hell. He was backstage yelling his head off. I almost felt bad for Jessica Goldman. If she wasn't so low, she was under the belly of a snake.
All right, let's skip Jack and Jessica's daytime soap opera a sec and focus on the center of this match. Jack's extremely tough, and he's gonna make it hard for Billy White Moon to breeze through this one, like he has in the past. It's been said that White Moon retains the title by facing soft opponents, but I say back, he beat Tito Santana to win it, Santana again to retain it, and then Jimmy Snuka, Rick Martel, and Ricky Steamboat. And those don't sound like no soft opponents to me, but no argument. Ballarat Jack is gonna be a tough nut for White Moon to crack.
I'm sure Ballarat Jack will be a challenge, but I think Billy White Moon's up to it. After all, he beat all those people you already mentioned. And well, like you said, those are not soft targets. Those are all seasoned veterans, and Billy White Moon's whipped them all to retain that Mid-South Championship. And here he is now with his Best of the West tag team partner, Jim Dandy Deacons. And these boys carrying on the tradition set down by their fathers. Chief Sam White Moon now working in the front office, and of course the late great Cowboy Bob Deacons. And yeah, their gimmick is a little bit old school, but...
Well, yes. I mean, the Lone Ranger and Tonto was more my grandpa's thing. But Jim Dandy and Billy White Moon still make it work. Speaking of the original tag team, is it true that a batch of classic RWL matches were found recently? They say Bob Deacons and Sam White Moon are among some of the matches. Do you know anything about it?
Nope. I guess it'll come up at the next big meeting with Colin O'Toole.
Introducing first the challenger, accompanied by Jessica Goldman, from Victoria, Australia. Weighing 256 pounds, Ballarat Jones. His opponent, accompanied by Jim Danny Deakins from Norton, Oklahoma. Weighing 235 pounds, the WL Mid-South champion, Billy White.
About those tapes, yes, it's true. Found in some warehouse in New York at the Richmond Sportsplex. I don't know what shape they're in, what the plan is for them, or anything. I just read they exist.
Oh, well, that would be interesting to see some old school matches. But, well, let's focus on the here and now. Ballarat Jack, big time opportunity. The Mid-South Championship hanging in the balance on this one. Well, Ballarat Jack's in a worse than usual mood tonight, but he'll be in an even worse mood if he drops this match. Billy White Moon, looking primed and ready to love his new outfit. Here we go, the bell sounds. They lock up. White Moon escorts Ballarat Jack to the ropes. Ballarat Jack Jones going for a ride to the outside. And White Moon getting ready to join him via Air Express. Here he comes. Oh, missed the baseball slide. White Moon crashes and burns. That's a rare thing. Ballarat Jack back in the ring. Takes a leap over and, well, still served the purpose. Didn't look too good, but he got the job done. Ballarat Jack Jones opens up with a series of shots, takes Billy White Moon down to the floor as the referee counts. Drives a knee into the head of the Mid-South champion. Billy White Moon quickly back up on his feet. Running kick from Ballarat Jack drops him like a bad habit. There's a stomp from Ballarat Jack, the angry Aussie. Like I said, a little bit angrier than usual. Jim Dandy Deakins standing like a stone against a hurricane. Not getting directly involved. Look at this. All he did was make eye contact. That was enough. Ballarat Jack with the elbow across the back of Billy White Moon goes for the cover here. One. Just a one. White Moon kicking out. Ballarat Jack rounds him up. Gets a hold of him. Someone's introduced a kendo stick. Oh, Miss Goldman, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Head first into the turnbuckle. Goes Billy White Moon. Ballarat Jack with a series of kicks. One to the face of Billy White Moon. The Mid-South champion on the receiving end of the bad business here. Ballarat Jack rebounds off the ropes. A face wash to Billy White Moon. The Mid-South champion looking like he's in more trouble than I've ever seen him in before. Ballarat Jack has come to play. Ballarat Jack rounds up White Moon. White Moon shifts his weight, counters it into an inverted DDT. Nicely done by the Mid-South champion. Jessica Goldman up on the apron over here. And there's the hot kiss at the end of the wet fist. Boom. Down went Ballarat Jack. Jessica Goldman undid that turnbuckle. Yeah, oh, she's a party animal, ain't she? Okay. White Moon off the ropes, a kick to the face of Ballarat Jack, the angry Aussie. Finally getting some of the starch taken out of him by Billy White Moon. White Moon setting up. There's a pulling pile driver. Ballarat Jack rolls to the outside. He did not like that one. White Moon followed him on out, ass over tea kettle. Human missile. Oh, White Moon's doing the curly. Oh, he's primed. He is ready to go. Measured double X handle right to the chest of Ballarat Jack Jones. The referee counting. Billy White Moon doesn't care. He's right into the ring steps. Went Ballarat Jack. Jessica Goldman. I'm surprised she isn't trying to take White Moon out herself. Ballarat Jack finally rolled back into the ring. Billy White Moon rolls himself in. Rounds up Ballarat Jack Jones. There's a chop. There's another chop. There's a third chop. And a headbutt. Billy White Moon firing on all cylinders now. Ballarat Jack catches a double boot stomp from White Moon. Here we go. There's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. Just the two. And Ballarat Jack used everything he had to get out of that pin. Well, now, I don't know what he was trying to accomplish there, but it didn't look too good. White Moon, double choke lift, pitches Ballarat Jack Jones across town. Billy White Moon, there's a clothesline, followed up with a second clothesline. Ballarat Jack gets the brakes put on him, gets the leg swept by Billy White Moon. Referee correcting that turnbuckle. Billy White Moon going right to work on a down Ballarat Jack Jones, and he's busted open. Out he goes. He keeps rolling out, looking for a break, but White Moon's right there. Oh, missed with a double X handle. Ballarat Jack Jones going to capitalize on the mistake here. A boot to the face of Billy White Moon. White Moon gathered back up. Ballarat Jack with a hard forearm. There's a question whether or not that elbow pad is loaded or not. He likes to use that on. Ballarat Jack rounds up. Billy White Moon pitches in towards the timekeeper's area. Makes his own way back towards the ring. Nope, he's not done yet, but White Moon is. Now they're both in. Running dropkick from Billy White Moon. White Moon rounds up Ballarat Jack hard forearm. Takes him down. Jessica Goldman again with the turnbuckle. Another double axe handle right to the chest of Ballarat Jack Jones. Billy White Moon all the way up on the top turnbuckle. Here he goes. Nails him with the knee right across the chest. Ballarat Jack. Both he and White Moon missed their move. Rebound off the ropes. Flying punch from Ballarat Jack takes White Moon down. Going for the quick cover, but look at this. Jessica Goldman has to get the referee back involved again. White Moon kicks out before even the count of one. Ballarat Jack going back to work here. Got to be frustrated. Knows the Mid-South Championship is within reach. White Moon on the ropes here. Ballarat Jack grabs a couple of knees into the midsection of Billy White Moon. And Jessica Goldman is trying to be like super helpful. Running forearms from Ballarat Jack. The referee again distracted with that turnbuckle. No, Ballarat Jack misses with the spear. White Moon puts on the brakes but catches the second spear. And now the referee's involved again. 1, 2. Oh, not quite. Almost real close. I know Ballarat Jack is mad as hell. Almost a 3 count. Ballarat Jack over the top rope. Human cannonball. And down goes Billy White Moon on the outside. White Moon quickly turns it around. Nails Ballarat Jack with a couple of shots. Jessica Goldman hanging out a little too close, a little too stocky. Don't like it. Ballarat Jack pitched to the barricades. White Moon rolls himself back inside the ring. The referee counts Ballarat Jack Jones, but not for long. Here he comes. Rolls himself back in. White Moon caught up from behind. There's a shot from Ballarat Jack. White Moon whipped to the ropes. There's a duck under from Ballarat Jack. A leapfrog. Gets a hold. Oh, man. Hard right hand. Jack covers. 1. Not even. I know he's still mad about that almost 3 he had. Billy White Moon with a forearm. Rebounds off the ropes. Flying punch takes down Ballarat Jack again. Jim Dandy Deacons looking on. Billy White Moon lays in another hard right hand to an already busted open Ballarat Jack Jones. He's got to be reeling. White Moon with a jab and another. Gets a hold of Ballarat Jack. Rebounds off the ropes. Flying kick right to the face. And down went Ballarat Jack Jones. Look at this. White Moon, he's setting it up. He's setting it up. There's the Nolan Ryan fastball. Boom! Oh, man. And down went Ballarat Jack. Referee again distracted by Jessica Goldman, who should have been ejected quite some time ago. It's not like the Invisible Man's taking them turnbuckles off. Another attempted near fall for Ballarat Jack Jones. There's a hard forearm from Billy White Moon. It's been laughable. Poor Ballarat Jack Jones can't catch a break here. Gets a hold of White Moon. Escorts him. He's trying to get him to the corner, but head first into the turnbuckle. White Moon, quick with the counter, turns it around on Ballarat Jack, delivers a kick to the ribs. Delivers another series of kicks to the ribs. There's a kick right to the face. Down goes Ballarat Jack. There's a stomp to the gut. And Billy White Moon paying back the face wash with the one he got with another one. Boom, right to Ballarat Jack Jones. Rolls out to center ring. Here's a cover, a hook of the leg. 1, 2, 3. Billy White Moon retains.
The time is 8 minutes and 39 seconds.
called it. It was a tough match for Billy White Moon, and Ballarat Jack put up a hell of a fight. But Billy White Moon, one more time, picking up another win and retaining the Mid-South Championship. And the next time I hear somebody say he faces soft targets, I'm going to be personally mad with them. All right, folks, coming up next, more championship level action as Snarl continues right after the break.
All right, just a few days ago at Labor Day, Slamathon, our first ever four-man gauntlet match, ended with Ricochet and Tony Dangerous both being eliminated, leaving only Mad Dog Mark McKay and SP1 Scotty Priest and Priest Pin McKay, scoring the win and the right to be here tonight, challenging for the RWL Cruiserweight Championship one more time against the champ, the prototype Gary Galaxy. And get this, from what I've heard, Gary is laughing this match off, swearing he's got it in the bag.
Well, Mr. Insider of the Stronghold, what's your word on it?
Actually, there's quite a bit of background on this, but I'll tell you more in a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next match set for 1 fall with a 15-minute time limit is for the RWL Cruiserweight Championship.
All right, Johnny, so good. What's this background you got?
Gary was thrilled that Priest won that gauntlet match because, he says, he's got Priest 100% figured out after having wrestled him so many times before. And he's literally laughing about it all, calling it the easiest night's work he'll have all week, and that Sylvia can relax, knowing the Cruiserweight title won't be leading the Stronghold tonight. Gary's guaranteed a win and a title retention tonight, and I kind of believe him. He says it with way more conviction than I can.
Well, he genuinely believes it. But he's got to remember, too, there have been times, and all those times they have wrestled each other, that Scotty Priest has gotten the better of Gary Galaxy. It would serve him well to remember that. As the Cruiserweight title's on the line, and yeah, Gary's gotten real confident about it, but him and Priest, it's always fire when they get together. So, hey, GB, Mr. Cakes. Looks like Sylvia Strong is a shoe-in to become Manager of the Year again now that Power and Beauty got the women's tag team titles. She's got to be feeling really great, man. What's going on with her?
Aw, Tex. Yeah, I've never seen the Ginchi one happier than in the last week. She's not gonna brag about it publicly, but privately, she's giddy. And keeping up just fine with the added responsibilities of managing Frankie Pacone and Marta Gordon. She always knew, she says, they had it in them to become champions, but she's sure they'll live up to it.
Would you look at Pete singing? Yeah, oh yeah, he looks like he's really taking this one seriously. You're never gonna get it. Gary Galaxy's crazy, you know that, right? The prototype, the Cruiserweight champion, and he's been Cruiserweight champion a heap of times, but so has Scotty Priest, so I am not going to even try and call this one. It's just too close to call. They're both too talented. They both got each other's numbers. They have to by now. They've wrestled like a dozen times.
Hey, check it out. Anyone who comes to the ring singing Never Gonna Get It by En Vogue, put my money on that particular guy. He's so sure about it. He's even got me sure about it.
He's got me thinking in a positive direction, too. Well, the power of positive thinking, huh?
Introducing first the challenger. From Glen Burnie, Maryland, weighing 194 pounds, SP1 Scotty Priest. And his opponent accompanied by Sylvia Strong. From Chesapeake, Virginia, weighing 189 pounds, the RWL Cruiserweight champion, the prototype, Gary Galaxy.
Just one more quick note here. Sylvia says if Priest can't get the job done after this match with Gary, she's going to flatly refuse any future single matches between Gary and Priest. She insists it's getting old, even though she knows a real rivalry can last a whole career.
Well, that sounds positively discriminatory, Johnny, but far be it for me to argue with the manager the rest of the year. Well, there is one thing for sure. I don't think I've ever seen Gary Galaxy look so unperturbed before a match. I mean, he looks as relaxed as can be. The ref rings the bell. Off we go. SP1 starts with a kick, a punch, a kick, and a beautiful Hurricane Rana. Gary Galaxy rounded up to a standing position here. SP1 rebounds off the rope. Beautiful crossbody. Yes, both these guys are fast and they both love to fly. This is going to be a great matchup. Kick to the chest from SP1, followed up with a stomp. Gary Galaxy's torso is taking a beating from the word go. SP1 quickly hustles his way to the top right turnbuckle. And here we go. Well, let's judge the distance on that one. SP1 redoing from start. Gets a hold of Gary. Escorts him towards the ropes. SP1 countered by Gary Galaxy. The prototype quickly rebounds off the ropes and whoa! Muley kick. Wasn't even looking at him. Wow, that was cool. Gary Galaxy rounds up SP1, gets a hold on him. Hard whip to the ropes and a beautiful power slam. Nicely done. SP1 struggling to a standing position in the corner. And Gary Galaxy right there to greet him. Ooh, a forearm. Just takes a running start. Gets a hold. Nice monkey toss. Whoa. Man, he did that with style. Here's a quick cover and a hook of the leg. One. Just about a one. I could have told him that wasn't going to work. Gary gets the hold of Priest. Takes him towards the far corner. Mashes his head into the buckle. Does it again for good measure. SP1 quickly with counters. Sticks Gary into the corner here. Pitches him out. Up off the rope. Man, beautiful moonsault off the middle rope from SP1. Gary on the ropes. Priest. Oh, takes them both over. Whoa. Damn. SP1 with a drop kick to Gary Galaxy on the outside. Referee's already counting. There's a forearm. Oh, Gary Galaxy shivered out on that one. Priest with a double leg drop to the lower abdomen of Gary Galaxy and a kick to the face. Man. Another double leg drop. And Gary Galaxy is going to be hurting all over after this is over. Priest pitches him towards the barricades but doesn't quite connect. Big thumbs up. The fans in Liverpool definitely love them some SP1. There's a double boot stomp to Gary Galaxy. A kick and a stomp, and whoa, look at this, nicely done. Wheelbarrow DDT from SP1. The ref continues to count. These guys don't look like they're in a hurry to get back in the ring either. SP1 rounds up Gary. Gary counters with a kick to the midsection. Takes Priest down. Gathers him back up again. Pitches him towards the timekeeper's area. Sylvia Strong rallying Gary Galaxy here. Priest in over the top rope. Here's a kick. Here's another. Here's a chop. Here's another kick. Gary Galaxy on the rope. SP1 whips him to the ropes. Ducks under. Makes the leapfrog. Oh, swing and a miss. Gary Galaxy putting on the brakes just in time. Only to wind up in the turnbuckle in the corner again. SP1 with a series of kicks. Down goes Gary Galaxy. A kick to the chest. Over the, oh man. Guillotine leg drop over the apron. SP1 going with the cover. 1, 2. It might have been enough, but turns out it wasn't. Gary back up to his standing position. SP1 pitches him over to the middle rope, and here we go. Whoa, oh, look at this. He was trying for that little 619 action. It did not work out. Gary Galaxy, he's seen that show. Gary Galaxy takes a shot. Here we go. And now it's really going to get nasty. These guys are going to start trading shots. They don't like each other, and they are not going to hold back. Oh. Priest catching some serious shots from Gary Galaxy. Ends the argument with a drop kick. Rounds up SP1. Hard whip to the ropes. And a Hurricane Rana from Gary Galaxy. Gary quickly goes for the cover and hooks the leg here. 1, 2. No, I'm afraid not. Gary rounds Priest up again. Hard whip to the ropes one more time, and oh man! Whoa! What a neck breaker! Here's another cover. 1, 2, 3, and the prototype Gary Galaxy retains the Cruiserweight Championship over SP1.
Here's the time. Precisely 5 minutes. Your winner by pinfall and still. Cruiserweight Champion, Gary Galaxy.
5 minutes. Egad, man. I guess he wasn't kidding, Johnny. He had this one all worked out. Gary Galaxy putting a quick end to this one with that beautiful whirling neck breaker. And that was it. Our main event when we come back from the break.
Tonight's main event is all about promises made and kept. It's a World Heavyweight title match 3 months in the making as the Triple Crown Mexican Monolith Warlord Santos challenges American Supreme Matt Clark once again for the RWL World Heavyweight title.
This evening's non-main event, set for 1 fall with a 15-minute time limit, is for the RWL World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, during Matt Clark's first run here in RWL, him and the Mexican Monolith did not get along. They did not like each other, but they have grown to admire and respect one another, even though Warlord Santos has beaten Matt Clark a number of times to become World Heavyweight Champion. He's going to try and do it again tonight on the guarantee that he is going to surrender the United States Championship if he wins. Well, can't get a fairer deal than that. But the Mexican Monolith has beaten Matt Clark in the past, so it's not out of court. It's not an impossibility.
It went really tough on both Santos and Clark during their rivalry, with each scoring several wins over the other, but they saw enough in each other to admire, and so Clark promised Santos a title match if he was still champion 3 months ago, and that handshake gentleman's agreement being honored tonight by Southern gentleman Matt Clark.
Clark's always been a man of his word. He and Santos, well, they're both walking around with more than one belt, so they're both serious Top Gun stars, which brings them to here. What a matchup.
Like that last matchup with Scotty Priest and Gary Galaxy, this is impossible for me to even try and call. Yes, the Mexican Monolith is a monster. He's a powerhouse. But Matt Clark knows his way around the giant.
Sometimes I feel like I'm dreaming Clark even came back, because it feels like he's never left at all. Back at the top, reunited with cousin Ron Whitley, and with ever-faithful Crystal at ringside. Still the same old Matt Clark, but he's come back with even more drive than the first run back in 2011 when Clark made his debut. He's been world champ 6 times, and tag team champ for times, and his style is relentless. He just keeps coming at you. That's the only real threat Clark's got over Santos, is no matter what, American Supreme isn't going to stop, unless he is stopped.
Yeah, he was like Jason Voorhees that way. Yeah, Jason Voorhees, that's on Friday the 13th movie. Horror bigot.
Ask Smartass. I'm over that now, so shut your damn mouth hole about that.
Oh, GG, I didn't know you cared. But yeah, American Supreme's been pretty cool about it. Didn't even insist on it being a dual title match with Santos having to give up either one of his belts. And he's going to end up having to give up that United States title if he wins tonight. Well, an interesting trade-off, but wow. 2 top stars, multi-champions. Oh, this is going to be a dynamite main event, guys.
Introducing first the challenger, accompanied by Sylvie Strong. From Hidalgo, Mexico, weighing 496 pounds, he's Rwl Sn the Mexican monarch, Rwl Sn, and his opponent accompanied by Christopher Bull from Smithfield, North Carolina, weighing 265 pounds. He is an Rwl champion, the World Heavyweight Champion, American Supreme, Matt Clark.
Oh, guys, with this one, there's just no knowing what's going to happen. American Supreme turns over the World Heavyweight Championship, the big enchilada. Warlord Santos gives that an eyeful. Walt Rothburn gets the call for this world title match. A world title main event, two of the top stars in the company. It don't get no better than this, guys. Walt Rothburn rings the bell. Clark with a wraparound DDT and a clothesline takes Santos down to the mat. There's a kick from American Supreme, followed up with a stomp. The Giant being kept off his vertical base. Matt Clark rounds him up, takes him right back down again. Has to let the submission hold go. Santos pushes him back. The Mexican Monolith catches a kick to the midsection. American Supreme tags him with another wraparound DDT. Matt Clark catches the shot to the midsection from Warlord Santos. Santos catches some elbows from American Supreme. Supreme, with a hard right, gets a hold of the Mexican Monolith, takes him right back down again. Great strategy keeping him from standing up so he can hurt you. American Supreme, Matt Clark, all the way up to the top turnbuckle here. And here we go. Elbow drop right across the back of the Mexican Monolith. Clark rolls him over, covers. 1, 2. Oh, well, no. Santos gonna have to work a hell of a lot harder than that. The Mexican Monolith gets a hold of Clark, rounds him up. Oh, not sure what happened there. Clark might have countered. Whoa, jumping elbow. American Supreme wisely keeping Mexican Monolith down on the canvas as much as he possibly can. Follows that up with a stomp. Warlord Santos again taken down by American Supreme. This time there's no ropes to get to. Santos gonna have to fight his way out. A couple of hard rights. He's back up on his feet again. Charges, clothesline, takes Matt Clark down. Clark rolls to the outside. Oh, man. Well, that was abrupt. Matt Clark stopped to think about it a minute. A kick to the midsection. Santos has him up. Nails him with the backbreaker that time. He's going to stretch that spine. Oh, man. Guys not taking it easy on each other. They respect each other, but hey, business is business. A clubbing blow to the chest. A counter by Matt Clark. Clark back up on his feet. Santos says not for long. There's an enziguri that puts American Supreme down on the mat. The Mexican Monolith all the way up on the top. Elbow drop right across the back of American Supreme. Santos covers. 1, 2. But nope. American Supreme gets the right shoulder up. Santos charges. There's another clothesline to take Clark down to the canvas again. And the momentum has definitely shifted around here. The knee of Matt Clark driven into the canvas by the Mexican Monolith. Clark counters with a shot to the midsection, gets a hold of the Mexican Monolith, whips him to the far right corner. There's a splash, pushes him out of the corner, gets a hold of him from behind. Here we go, Russian leg sweep. And the Mexican Monolith is back down on his back again. And American Supreme in the driver's seat for sure. Okay. Clark all the way up on the top. Here we go. Big time elbow drop right across the chest of Santos. Clark covers. 1, 2. Oh, here we go again. American Supreme Matt Clark has to go from start. Rounds up the Mexican Monolith. Hard chop. Oh, wow. Right across the throat. Santos whipped to the ropes. Kitchen sink knee to the gut. The Mexican Monolith, oh, he's getting fired up. That might not be good for Matt Clark. American Supreme rolled back inside the ring by the Mexican Monolith. Clark swings and misses with a clothesline. Santos has him up in the fireman's carry. And boom, snake eyes right across the top turnbuckle. A stomp. Santos rounds him up by the throat. Well, no alley-oop for you. There's a backbreaker. Gets him up and takes him walkies again. And there's a second one. Matt Clark has... Oh, man. Matt Clark's back has been taking a beating here. A drop kick to the back of the head of American Supreme. Santos catches a kick from Clark. Clark quickly takes him right back down again. Look at this. Oh, man. Clark doing everything he can to maintain the World Heavyweight Championship here. Goes behind on Santos, has him up. There's the red, white, and blue bomb. Here's the cover. 1, 2. That's it. Matt Clark has retained the World Heavyweight Championship by pinfall over the Mexican Monolith.
The time was 5 minutes and 8 seconds. Your winner by pinfall and still World Heavyweight Champion, American Supreme, Matt Clark.
Well, what'd I say, guys? Relentless, and that's what Matt Clark was. Once he got the upper hand on Warlord Santos, he never let it go. And that's how he wound up winning this match, which is rare. You don't see the Mexican Monolith manhandled too often like that. But that was amazing.
Okay, people, that's where we're leaving it this week. We hope you enjoyed tonight's Snarl season premiere, and we thank all of you for checking out our WL. Okay, our next card will be our WL Rage with Don Hickson, Christy Ogilvy, and Myron Schimmelman, which begins just a little late on Tuesday, September 9th. As for Johnny, Tex, and I, we'll be back next Saturday night for another RWL Snarl. Until next time, this is Wally Cardell saying thanks, good night, and be safe.